Hi guys, we're very honoured today to be joined by Daniella, and she's from America. She's from near near Chicago. And we're also joined by a group called Ashoka. And Ashoka is a group of social entrepreneurs, like a network of people working together to change the world for the better. And these guys, if you want to give yourselves a wave. So School 21's just joined this network, and we've become what we call a changemaker school. So we're one of the very first changemaker schools in the UK. So we're wanting to, as part of Ashoka, change the face of education in this country. So make education more exciting for children, make it a fairer place. So you guys are one of the changemaker schools, so you're going to be making this change. And Daniella is what we call a Ashoka Fellow. So she's one of these social entrepreneurs. So she's going out, doing things to change the world, trying to improve the world for the better. So, Daniella, would you like to take the stage?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I'd like to start off by saying thank you so much for having me. So I want to start off by talking about empathy. So what is empathy? Like it says on the slide, empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And there's so much we can learn from learning about someone else and experiencing someone else's life. And so to demonstrate this, I'm going to start with an activity. Everybody stand up. Now turn to the person next to you, shake their hand, and introduce yourself.
My name is
That was pretty easy, wasn't it? You just had to stand up, turn to the person next to you to introduce yourself, and it's pretty easy to learn about someone else. But how do we learn about someone that isn't right next to us, that isn't at our school, maybe that is in a different country, who lives a completely different life? So that was something that I wanted to explore, and I'm going to tell you my story of how I started a project called Give. And it's completely centered around this idea of empathy. And when we learn about others, we learn more about ourselves, and empathy and cultural understanding are a result of empathy, and they make this world a better place. So this is how I became involved with empathy. It started with a letter. So when I was in third grade, I was in a school kind of similar to this one. They were doing a project, and they told a bunch of third graders that they could change the world. This is a pretty grand idea. I mean, third graders could come up with some pretty crazy ideas, but they believed in us, and they gave us the tools to really make a difference. So some of my classmates came up with ideas. They wanted to learn what it was like to be in a homeless shelter, so they went to go see homeless shelters. Or they knew they had extra basketball equipment or baseball equipment, so they donated it or they recycled it and made it into art projects. I was very confused with war. I couldn't understand war, and I wanted to make friends with someone who was in a war-torn area. I wanted to learn about someone, and I wanted to make a new friend, but I wasn't right next to them. I couldn't just stand up and shake their hand. So I wrote a letter. And my third grade class wrote letters to kids in Iraq and Israel. We never got responses, but we knew that they received the letters. And just because we didn't get responses didn't mean that we gave up. We still knew that there was hope, and my teachers believed in me, and that is what made the difference. It was okay to not succeed, and it was okay to try again and to learn from my mistakes. So I knew I still wanted to learn about others that weren't right next to me, and that was very hard. So 2 years later, when I was in 5th grade, I came in contact with a school in Bangalore, India, and I wrote this letter, or I got this letter back. I wrote a letter, and I'll recite it to you. Dear Suma, hi, I'm Daniella. I'm in 5th grade, and I love to figure skate. It's a sport where you wear special boots so you can glide on ice and twirl and jump. Do people figure skate in India? What kinds of things do you like to do? I have a dog named Allie. What kinds of animals do you like? I've never been to India, but Maybe someday I can meet you. Your hopefully future friend, Daniella. And it was that letter that completely changed my life forever. That was me extending my hand and learning about Suma's life. And then I got this letter. Dear Daniella, I'm Suma. I'm 13 years old. I go to school in Bangalore. I love trying potluck and tea. No, I don't play ice skating. I have a great teacher, Kavita. She will teach us math. I have 6 subjects. I like English the most. I love birds. I also have one dog. Her name is Julie. Yes, I like animals. We have an elephant. Your hopefully future friend, Suma. Suma and I continued our relationship through letter writing exchanges lasting over 7 years. I was learning about someone my age in a completely different situation. And this was so new to me, and I was learning so much about myself. I was learning what I wanted to do, and I was learning what was inspiring me. So my classmates and I, we all wrote letters, and we learned about the students who we were writing to. We had a lesson on Bangalore, and we were learning so much. So I knew we needed to expand. I took this idea of shaking someone else's hand in a completely different country, and we expanded. After that, I was able to meet Suma twice. I visited her school and experienced her life. She goes to a school called Sahasradipika. When I walked in, I was welcomed with chai. They had vibrant colors, the carefully spiced food. There was love, there was commitment of the teachers, and most importantly, the support that the students gave to each other was just beyond my imagination. Again, I was putting myself in a completely different situation, and I was learning so much. So I formed this project, GIVE, and we wrote letters to schools in India, in Uganda, and in Rwanda. But there were still some things that I just could not comprehend without living it and without seeing it. So this is a picture from my first trip to India. I was much shorter than I am today, but I look like a giant in this picture. And some of these kids are actually older than me. They are so small because before coming to their school, they didn't have enough to eat. They are shorter than me because they haven't had enough to eat generationally. I knew I had learned so much about their lives through letter writing, and I had made amazing connections and amazing friendships, but there were still some things that I just could not comprehend. It's hard to understand what it's like to not have enough to eat when we are so privileged ourselves. Earlier in the trip, a student from Varanasi offered me his bowl of rice. It was about the size of my fist, and I thought to myself, these portions are tiny compared to what I get in my lunchroom. Most of my friends throw out more food than these kids actually eat. I had been so caught up in my own world that I never stopped to think about what it was like to be another person. But when we step out of our own shoes and when we step into the shoes of another, we learn so much. So now that we're in the mood of stepping into others' shoes, I brought some flip-flops. And what we're going to do with those flip-flops is we're going to sign them. We're going to write nice messages like, reach for the moon, even if you miss, you will land among the stars. You have a friend from London. We believe in you. Education is the key to success. Stay strong. Anything nice that you want to write, anything you think would be positive or motivational to the students. We're going to sign these flip-flops, and we're going to send them to students in Uganda and to students in India. So, let's pass these flip-flops out.
So guys, can we all get into our coaching circles? I'm we're going to head around the flip-flops to the right. It's great.
Look at this. This is one of the schools in India. They were getting shoes for the first time. And now when they walk to school every day, their feet will not be cut completely raw anymore. And now when they put their shoes on, they have a nice message from someone to inspire them to study harder and to stay strong and to stay motivated. So thank you so much. This is a girl from one of the schools in Uganda. As you can see, her flip-flop is signed, and her name is also Daniella. We're two girls living in completely different situations. But writing letters to her and stepping into her shoes has allowed me to realize that we are more similar than we are different. And now I'm going to show you a video I have from one of the schools in Uganda. So Giv knew that there were so many other things we could do to make this world a better place. We started with letters and expanded from there. I formed a team of inspired students who knew that they had the power to change the world. After that, we realized that there was more we could do. Since I traveled to some of the schools in India, I realized that there were more things we could do in terms of their education. Their schooling was lacking because they didn't have enough funding and because they didn't have enough teachers. So we installed internet. We fundraised, we purchased laptops, and I went to install the internet. As you can see in the top right corner, now they have functioning internet, they can watch videos, read articles, they can collaborate, write documents for school, make presentations, do research, just because we had an idea and we were motivated, and we weren't scared to fail. We knew that if we were motivated, and if we learned from our mistakes, we would succeed. So our newest project is for the schools in Uganda. They don't have any internet, and we knew we needed to compensate for this because they didn't have enough textbooks, they didn't even have shoes, they didn't have enough teachers. But since they didn't have internet, what would the purpose of a computer be? So we thought for a while, and we realized that there are a lot of tools that we could load onto the laptops. There's this platform called Khan Academy, where a man named Mr. Khan makes videos about a wide array of subjects. He makes videos about math, about science, about history, humanities, almost all subjects. And we decided we could preload those videos onto the laptops so the students can open the laptops without needing internet, and they can sort through all of the videos that Mr. Khan made. And we wanted to personalize it a little bit. So students at my high school made videos on a wide array of subjects, and I'm going to show you two. we took what we learned in school, we had an idea, and we used it to help others. And here's another video that I made with my dad.
Hi, my name is Daniella, and today we're going to be talking about physics.
So we made these videos along with a lot of other videos. We got help from teachers, and we had help from mentors to help us make these videos, to help us get new ideas. And we turned this small project of just letter writing into a much bigger project. So I know that you guys all have your own projects that you're working on, and you know that it starts with an idea. I had an idea. I wanted to make new friends. I wanted to shake the hand of someone else. If you have a passion, I had a passion for friendship. Maybe you have a passion for sports, or you have a passion for reading, and you want to find out a way to make children's books for some underprivileged kids, or you want to donate your old equipment and maybe use it for an art project. The first step is to form a team. Form a team of other inspired students, just like yourself, and that is the way you make some meaningful change. Get some help. We applied for many grants. We had teachers as mentors, and we had other people as mentors from Ashoka's Youth Venture. Like I said, apply for grants, and don't be afraid to make a mistake. I think when we start our own projects, or when we come up with an idea to make the world a better place, we often think that if we fail, it's done. But that's not true. The first time we wrote letters, we never got responses, but we didn't give up there. We knew that the project had meaning, and we knew we could do more. So we learned from our mistakes. The idea that I want to end with is the idea that understanding and interacting with someone else's life can make us better people. We need to step out of our comfort zones and learn from all the people around us, and even the people that aren't around us. The sky is the limit.